What's up, crochet cousins? It's your girl Lala, the owner and doll designer of the Christian Crochet Addict. And today we are going to use my Centro 48 pin knitting machine. Now we're going to make sure that we are on the tube setting because we are making a pencil themed scarf. This is going to be going to a really awesome educator. Team educators in the building. Happy Black History Month, happy Valentine's Day, and all that good stuff. So let's get this party started. What are we going to need? You are going to need some scissors. You are going to need a sewing needle. Make sure that it's a long one. If you have this machine, it actually comes with this, so you're all set. We are also going to use some pom-poms. You do not have to have pom-poms on hand. You can actually make them with your yarn. So if you want to know how to make those, honey, you're right at the right place. You at YouTube University. You can make your pom-poms with yarn, but I'm going the lazy route out and I'm going to use these ready-made ones from Amazon. And we are going to need the following colors. You're going to need yellow for the pencil. You're going to need pink for the eraser. You're going to need black for the lead. You can go with a tan or taupe for the wood. And of course, you know that little metal strip that holds the eraser to the pencil is either silver or gray. So first things first, I'm going to start with the tip of the pencil. We are not using any waste yarn. If you feel inclined to do so, go ahead and share this live. Let me readjust myself so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to move this a little forward. Move all the other distractions out of the camera shot. And we're just gonna grab that black yarn right now. Don't pay attention to my tripod. Just stay focused with me, okay? Let's concentrate, okay? Because we're in school, honey. So I'm gonna use the medium setting down here. Let me pull it a little closer to you, just in case you've never seen one of these up close. You see that in the middle? We're gonna put it through that tension right there. We want it medium tension. Gonna pull it through there. And oops, you know what? Not yet, not yet. Sorry, rewind selector. So we're going to use, we see where this white pin is. All of these pins are pink with the exception of this white one. This lets us know that we're at the end of the row. We're just going to stretch that tail out from one end to the other end. You do not need a super long tail. First row, we are going to go in the back, the front. See how I went in the front of that pin? Now we're going to go into the back of the second one. Front of the third, front, back, front, back. We're going to do this for the entire row. I am not going to use any electronic device. I'm not going to use my drill because it's super loud when you're doing lives. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to have some fun, tell some cute stories possibly, you know, just wing it and have a good time. So if you feel inclined to do so, go ahead and share this live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lala. I'm the owner and doll designer of the Christian Crochet Addicts. Normally, I crochet beautiful, beautiful dolls in all shades of brown, from the darkest dark to the lightest light. If you feel inclined to do so, go ahead and drop a chat, drop something down in the chat box. Hopefully, I can see it because, listen, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Sometimes that chat box just doesn't want to work. Sometimes it doesn't want to work. So hopefully it's working today. So now that we have one row of us going back and forth, and you see the tail isn't super long. You don't need a long tail. We're going to put it in the medium tension. And now we are going to crank out, let's see. Make sure the setting is at 0 because this is very important so that we know how many rows our scarf is. If I can guess off the top of my head, I want this scarf to probably be about 250 rows. I am going to be doing it manually, so we're going to be here for a while. Now let's start off with this black yarn. We're just going to crank out maybe... Oh, I forgot I have to hold this in place because I am using this paper white tablecloth because my countertop is granite. And it's a little busy in the background, so I'd rather just do a plain white background. But we're just gonna go ahead and crank out. Let's see how it looks with, because keep in mind, this is a scarf, so it's gonna be super long. I wanna see how 10 rows look. Let's start off with that, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna move my black yarn just a little bit closer so that, move those over, move that over. Let's put the black yarn right next to the machine. All right, now we're ready to rock and roll. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day thus far. It is freezing. I recently moved to Pennsylvania. I mean, it's nothing new because I lived in the, near the water in New York City. So there's not much difference when it comes to the weather. I think I might have to move this tablecloth because I don't like my machine sliding all over the place. This machine does have suction cups on the legs, and it will not obviously activate those suction cups because I'm on this paper tablecloth, but we're gonna still make it happen. According to the row counter, we are at 5, excuse me, it just turned to 5. I think 10 won't be enough. Let's go for 15, shall we? If you feel inclined to do so, go ahead and share this live. We're going to have a good time. We're making a pencil themed scarf. It's going to look like a pencil. We're making this for an awesome educator. I'm just making sure. Uh-oh, did this? Yes, it did. I wasn't paying attention. No problems. We're going to start all over. You get to see this happen live. So I'm going to take this off the machine because it dropped a lot of stitches. I didn't notice that. So this is what I like to call a do-over. We're not panicking because we only about 8 rows in. Now, if we were like 20 rows in, I'd panic because then I would have to pick up those stitches. You can pick up those stitches. You can save it. But when it's just this little bit, I just start all over. Now, if we were heavy into the work, and it's very forgiving, you could just pull it right on out. You see that? Pull it right on out, and we're going to still start it all over. I find that sometimes when you're not paying attention, it will drop the stitches. You do have to make sure that it is kind of taut, not tight. You don't have to have the yarn coming out tightly, but you do want to make sure that it is snug enough to where it's not loose enough to just jump off the stitches, because that does happen. So we're going to do that round again. We're going to go back and forth, back and forth. If you're just joining, we are going to need our 48 pen knitting machine to make this design. We're using black yarn. We're using pink yarn. These are all 4-ply yarns. Doesn't matter what brand you use, because if you pay attention, these yarns are almost all of them are different brands. For example, this black yarn is Red Heart. The pink yarn is Big Twist. The yellow yarn is Walmart brand. The gray yarn is Walmart brand, and the tan/taupe yarn is actually, I love this yarn. So as you can see, I like to use different types of yarns, but just make sure they're the same weight. That's all that matters when you're making this scarf. So I'm gonna move this camera just a little bit. Just in case this tablecloth annoy me, don't be surprised if I end up taking the tablecloth off in the middle of the doggone live. So now that I set this back to 0, let's crank them out again. And let's make sure we don't have that mishap that we just had. I'm going to tug on this a little bit. And now we can continue. How's everybody doing? I can't see who's in the live. Sorry. I don't see any thing popping up in the chat box. Maybe I'll see it after the live. I don't know if you can see the comments after the live, but we're working it out, right? We're working it out. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It is cold. I don't know if it's cold where you are, but it's cold where I am. It certainly is cold. Let's see how long this takes me. So the live has been going on for about 8 minutes. So we're going to minus about 8 minutes off of this live just to see how long it takes to make this scarf, because sometimes you want to make a quick gift for someone. I definitely wanted to make something for my children's teachers for the holidays, but unfortunately we just moved here, honey, I could barely get to my yarn. Hey, welcome. I just saw something pop up. Fee, I think was the name. Good morning. We are at 8 rows. As I said before, I think I want to do 15 rows. I want to see what that looks like, because the lead does not have to be super thick, like the rows, if you will. This is 10 rows, and I already know that's not enough. We're going to keep going for about 5 more rows, 15 in total. We do want it to be aesthetically pleasing. Sorry about all of the shifting. My gosh, I might have to remove this tablecloth, so bear with me. This is all new to me. I wanted to have a nice white background for you guys, because I mean, when you're working with black yarn, it's already difficult to see what's going on. But then my countertops is kind of like a granite type material, so it makes it a little difficult to see. But you get the idea. You guys are smart, and I'm talking you through it so that you can definitely make this. We are on round 15, and I think that I am content because the lead doesn't have to be super duper thick. So I'm going to wait. There we are. This is the end of the round. How do I know? Because we have reached the white pin again. So I am going to grab my scissors. Hold on one second. My pom-pom's still on the floor. It's trying to escape. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my scissors. We're gonna go ahead and cut right below where we put it on the yarn guide. Take it out, hang it over just like that. Now what color comes next is that tan/taupe color. That is the next color when you're looking at a pencil that would. So we are going to grab that and we're going to put it through the yarn guide and through the tension. And so I am going to just do a little tie like that. I don't tie my yarn until I pass at least one round. Okay, so we're going to just put it under there where it's supposed to be and continue with those rounds. So now that we have, this is the 16th row, we're going to crank this out for 15 rows. Let's just go ahead and do 15. We've already done one row. Wow, that was super fast. So let's tie it. I like to tie it a little snug so there's no gapping and it looks very consistent. Do you crochet? If you crochet, I'm sure that's why you're on my channel. Listen, I'm one of those people that crochets in my ends as I go. I do not like, see how I cut those tails? I do not like to wait until I'm done. Oh my gosh, sewing in all those tails is a nightmare for me. So I don't like to do that. We are going to continue to crank this out. I am telling you right now, I can tell this paper is annoying me. So let's pause for a second. Thank you so much for your patience. I think somebody just commented again. I'm sorry. For some reason, the comments come up for a few seconds and then they disappear. So I maybe have to press something so that I can see it. So here it is. You guys can see how my countertop is. I thought it was a bit busy, but now I think this is what's best because, honey, this thing is sliding all over the place. So now I can use my little suction cups and hopefully I have a little solace while I'm working. So I'm going to move this yarn over. Let's get rid of this tablecloth. Thank you, but no thank you. You were annoying. And let's continue our knitting, our knit machine party. So I'm pushing it down just to make sure those suction cups are in place. And let's crank it out. Let's crank it out. So we're going to do this up until row 30 because we did 15 rows in black and 15 rows we're going to do in this tan/taupe color. Let me tell you guys something. When you are working this machine, it can be quite addictive. Yes, I do have the other device. You see how loud it is by me just hand cranking it? It's even louder when you're using the drill. Yes, it's even louder when you're using the drill. So hopefully this isn't too loud for you. I do have a little music low in the background, but yeah, let's have some fun, shall we? Let's have some fun. I think it's important that we celebrate people who are good to us. If you really can sit and think about it, our children are in school more than they are with us. The educators are pretty much raising our kids, if you think about it. Think about it for a second. They're in school about 7 to 8 hours a day. This is like a normal school day. They're in school about 7 to 8 hours a day. This is not including them transportation getting there if they ride a bus or anything like that. And then when they come home, they pretty much do their homework, have dinner, and go to bed. It literally goes by that fast. So with that being said, why not celebrate them? You know what I'm saying? Why not celebrate them, give them a little something, showing our appreciation. You don't always necessarily have to give money, but sometimes it's nice to just give them something spontaneous. Now, during the holidays when I was teaching, I used to teach kindergarten, It was expected. You know, parents are going to give you something for the holidays. You know, parents are going to give you something for teachers' appreciation. I'm slowing down because we're almost at row 30. This is row 26. So we're going to keep on going. But you know, it's expected. You know, they're going to get you something. It's just, you know, it's the holidays. Usually that's what happens. But can I tell you, I don't know about you, but I love to receive gifts spontaneously just because. Just because. So we are making this for my daughter's teacher. She is so awesome. She knows that my daughter loves to sing. My daughter has a beautiful voice and she's in chorus. And we both agreed that she does need to, even though she got an 86 in math, we know that she could do even better. So I want her to do even better. If she's getting 90s and 100s in all her classes, we need to bring up that math score. Hello, can I get an amen? So, so we both decided that it would be best if she does math club, and her math club meets on the day that she has chorus. So that this is 28. I feel like it's making me do more rows. I think my row counter is bugging, but you know what? You know, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. It's just that, you know, sometimes I feel like I cranked it too much. So this should be our last row right here. There we go. Oh, this is row 30. So we can continue out this row. Continue out this row. And that is it. So the next row is going to be row 31. We're going to go ahead and cut this yarn. What color comes up next when we have a pencil? Obviously, it's yellow. So we're going to go ahead and add this yellow. Again, I'm using 4-ply yarns. Doesn't matter what brand you're using, because honey, if you only knew, I have so many different brands. If I love the color, I'm buying it. That's just it. If it's the weight that I need, I'm buying it. There was a time where I just bought it just to buy it. I don't do that anymore. So I'm going to go around one row. Then we will secure this with a knot. So let's go around with one row. But like I said, the teacher and I both agreed that she could do even better. There's our one row. Now let's tie it together. When you're tying together, make sure that it goes underneath this lip right here, or that whatever you want to call it, hump, groove, whatever it's called. Make sure it goes under, because when you create your designs, it will have a little bit of a hole. It will have a hole. How do I know? Been there, done that. So we both agreed that she should go to math club. She's going to see if she can go to the math club on Thursdays, which is not her class. So I just thought that was nice for her to go above and beyond. She told me that she didn't think she necessarily had to go to math club because she got an 86, but I know that she could do better. You know, we got to push our children to do better. There's nothing wrong with her staying after school for an extra hour in math club. It's not like her old school. This math club actually is fun. So from what it's being described as. So right now we have done 5 rows in yellow. You know, the majority of this scarf is going to be yellow. How many rows are we going to do? Honey, I don't know. We're just going to have fun and we're going to do it and make it happen. We did 15 rows in black. We did 15 rows was supposed to be done in brown. I don't know. This tan, this looks like more than 15, way more than 15 rows. I don't know why the machine did so many rows, but I'm okay with it. Oh, did I do 30? I don't know if I'm curious. Let's see how many it did, because I was using the yarn, the row counter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not fair. This thing did 40 rows of taupe. And you guys watch me watch my counter. Now this counter says 37. So how is it that I did 40 rows here and it says only 37 here? So that tells you right there, these row counters are not the best. You got to pay attention. I knew something wasn't right. I was doing too many rows, but it's okay. Still gonna come out cute. When I do my hat, my black and taupe, or I should say tan yarn, is usually the same amount of rows. So we're just going to crank this out. We started at 30 rows because this was supposed to be 15. This was supposed to be 15. And then now we are doing, let's see, I don't know. I probably want to do about 100 rows. So I should be working this until I reach 130 rows. So let's see, let's crank it out. Let's have a good time. Let's make it happen. It says 42 for twice. So I'm watching this. This actually showed me 42 twice. So obviously my row counter has unalived itself. I don't know what's going on, but you can use your eye. That's always a good thing to do if you're creating something. The only thing to see, it still says 43. There's no way I'm still at 43 rows. So I'm going to clear it. And this is probably about 30 rows, if I could guess, right here. Maybe 20 rows. We're just going to do 100 from here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it went kaputs on me. It's showing 1 right now. So let's see if it's consistent. 2 now. It's working now. I don't know what's going on. I've never had any issues with my row counter. Now that it's this length, you want to roll it within itself because it will weigh its own self down. You know, it will weigh itself down. That way those stitches won't come off. And tug. There's nothing wrong with tugging at it. Making sure it stays and roll it within itself. So we're going to keep on rolling. So let's go over that count again. If I could do it again, I would definitely probably do 15 black, 20 tan. And right now we're starting off with 100 of this yellow. We'll see how that goes. We want the scarf to be super long if she wants to wrap it around her neck, so to be super cute and warm and cozy. That's the whole point. So yeah, let's just keep on cranking it out. Thank you so much for watching and joining me. I hope that you enjoy this live. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because we have fun over here in these internet streets. We do really have fun. I apologize if the noise is annoying you, but it happens. It happens. Okay, make sure your yarn is taut. That's why you see these little gappings, because a lot of yarn is coming at one time and it's not tight, but that's okay because this is a scarf. It's not like a sweater where it will be really noticeable. And that's why I move the yarn over so that it will tug a little bit. It'll be a little tighter like the rest of the stitches. As I crank out the rows, you're going to see how different it looks compared to those little like spots right there. You see like little spots right there. It's gonna that just has to do with the yarn. It has to do with it just being too willy-nilly. And though that we're using this tension gauge, it it still can't control if a lot of yarn is loose and coming quickly. So as you can see, it's starting to look clean again. Those stitches are starting to look clean again, and it's a thing of the past. It's a thing of the past. So I'm gonna keep on cranking. Right now it's saying that we've got 13 rows. Honey, we got a lot more rows to go. So if for some reason you need to step away, go ahead, but you make sure you come right back and hang out with me, your girl Lala, the owner and all designer of the Christian Crochet Addict, where we do everything fiber over here, honey. We have fun over here and we do everything fiber. So I hope that you are enjoying this live, and feel free to share if you are inclined to do so. Yeah, I really think that her teacher is going to love this. I think it's super cute already. Oh my goodness. It's so cute. Now, if we were making a hat, we would be done already. Would you believe that? For those of you who aren't familiar with this machine, if we were making a hat, we would be done already. Now, you're probably asking yourself, girl, is your arm tired? No, not really. Because I don't normally crank unless I'm on live. I don't like to use my drill live. One, a lot of people don't have the drill attachment. Two, it's super loud. It's super loud. And although I'm downstairs, my husband's upstairs sleeping, and I don't want him thinking I'm fixing a door or something. He's gonna be like, I got that. That's my job. So let's not wake him up. Let's not do all of that. So now I'm gonna continue to roll it within itself. Look at those stitches. You see that? How clean they look? They are awesome. I know some people have difficulty, but you just have to have a little patience and just do these little steps. These little things help. Rolling it within itself. This helps with the drop stitches. It makes it look good. Pull on it sometimes, pull it down, and it will look fine. Okay? And just watch the machine. Watch the machine. Don't ever force the machine. If for some reason it's not cranking, it's stopping, that means something is wrong. That means you need to check your yarn. That means you need to check your handle. You need to check to make sure that there are no stitches stuck in the up position, stuck on one of these hooks or something. It is stopping for a reason. Don't force it. And if you can help it at all, use cakes. Use yarn cakes instead of skeins. You know, skeins will have random knots and things like that, and it will mess up your progress. So I do like to cake my yarn. I do have an electric yarn winder, which winds my yarns into cakes. I didn't do that with these because, you know, I just kind of recently bought this yellow, and the other skeins I've used before. The gray I didn't use yet, but I said to myself, whatever, let's just do it. We're doing it live. This is reality. This is what it is. Sometimes there's knots. So let's just pray that there won't be any knots today. We are at 24 rows, but I don't believe it. I think they're lying. It's just saying 24, honey. It's just saying 24. And I know for a fact it's still saying 24. It's still saying, so it just turned to 25. This thing is losing its mind. But it's all good. It's all good. I want to use this entire skein because that's the whole point. I want it to be a super long yarn. After we finish our rows of yellow, we're going to move on to our rows of silver or gray, whichever one you choose. I chose a gray. What is this gray called? This gray is actually called medium gray. Medium gray. So I chose a medium gray, and I think that I want to do 10 rows of gray, and we'll do about 20 rows of pink. Aesthetically, that makes sense because that little metal piece is not that thick, the eraser, you know, we're going to make it happen. Oh, you see that? It's jammed. Let's see, why is it jammed? What's causing it to jam? Okay, this was stuck right here. All right, I think all is well. And then we got to pick this stitch back up. That's another reason why I have stiletto nails. Someone asked me, do I braid? She's like, oh, do you braid? She was looking for someone that could braid her daughter's hair. And if you're familiar with stitch braids, a lot of people who do stitch braids usually get a stiletto nail and they use it to part the hair with their pinky and their pointer. No, I use it to put my yarn back on my machine. That's what I use mine for. It's getting longer. So what do we need to do? We need to roll it within itself so that we can keep those stitches looking good. And we shall proceed. We shall proceed. What are you guys making today? Is anybody else working with yarn today? Hiding it under your desk? Or is it in your bag? You're waiting for your lunch break so that you can make something awesome. I know I used to do it when I was at work. I would have my yarn in my desk. And when no one was in my office, honey, I was working. I was crocheting. Oh, yeah. Why not, right? A little idle time. I feel like this. When you know, people, when you work at certain places and they have cigarette breaks, what about the people who don't smoke? I feel like the people who don't smoke, we get neglected a little bit. What about us? The people who don't smoke, we don't get a cigarette break. So we're supposed to sit there the whole day and not take a 5-10 minute break? Do you know what can be created in 5 to 10 minutes with crochet, honey? And honey, you know they take their breaks. People who have their little cigarette breaks, they believe in taking their breaks. And, you know, it's kind of not fair. I remember being in the military and they would take their little cigarette breaks and they'd say to me, hey, some supervisor that smokes will come out there. What are you doing out here? You don't smoke. I was like, I can't come out and get some fresh air too? I can't get a little vitamin D too? Like I want to come outside. I don't want to sit and inhale y'all nicotine though. I would either go in the parking lot or across the street, or you know what I'm saying? I sit in my car for a few minutes just to get a little sun, because a lot of military buildings don't have windows. They lack windows. And I love the sunshine. I love natural light. So I would go outside, listen to the birds for a second, even if it's 5 minutes. I have a lunch bag that I got when I was in college. It turns into a seat. So sometimes I would sit on the grass with it. It was a lunch bag, and it popped open for you to sit on it, which was really cool. I think I still have it. You know, when you're moving, you just like start throwing stuff away. I hope I didn't throw it away because I really do like that lunch bag. But yeah, it popped open for you to sit down. If I wanted to have an impromptu picnic, that lunch bag never failed me. Or if I wanted to just do a little beach run, that lunch bag was the go-to. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of low to sit on, but it was a seat. It was my seat. BYOS. Bring your own seat. It worked out great for those concerts in the park in New York City as well. It was great. Good times. Good times with the lunch bag seat. I'm sure they sell it on Amazon, but I have bragging rights. I can say that I had mine in 2001. How about that? So right now it's showing that we are at 55 rows. Now I don't know how many we did beforehand. I think we started at 30. So I'm going to say we started at 30, but then the row counter started acting crazy. But I definitely want us to get to at least 100 rows. So we're at 58, and maybe we will make it. So far looks like we've done half the skein so far. I'm going to show you what we got. Look at that. See how flat it is? I want to use this entire skein. I know for my super duper long scarves, they are at least almost 500 rows. That's for people who like those oversized scarves that they can wrap around their neck multiple times. Yeah, those are super long. We're not doing that. I just want one that's, pretty decent size, that if she wants to wrap it around her neck, she can do so. Not something that just drapes, if she wants to, you know what I'm trying to say. Nobody, she doesn't want, I don't want to give her like some little stubby scarf. That does go with certain attire, but that's not the look we're going for. That's not the look we're going for. We are at 64 rows, guys. Can you believe it? 64 rows in 32 minutes. Remember, we're going to minus 8 minutes from our total time because I had to restart. But I think this is really cool how fast we're getting this done. It'll be nice if it could be done within an hour, right? It's a 1-hour gift. That would be cool. So it's working. We are at 69 rows now. 69 rows. Now keep in mind, we started all over. So we definitely have to be at more than 100 rows. So don't worry, I'm going to give you a good estimate number. We're probably going to, when I see what this end number is, then we'll go from there, because we had about 20 rows before we started the row counter over. So we're just going to add 20 rows to whatever we get when we finish up this skein. Now I have to be honest, I did use a little of this skein, not much. So it's not 100% full skein, but like I said, I am going to give you the estimated rows. We started off with the black yarn on here. If you're just joining, we did 15 rows of black. The goal was to do about 20 rows of taupe, but the yarn counter started acting crazy. So I don't know how many rows we did with the taupe yarn. It looks like, I think I did count. I did count. I did count. I think it was 38 rows with the taupe, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do about 20, 25 rows, because when you look at a pencil, the lead is significantly smaller than the wood part, the taupe or brown part, however you want to call it, tan part. So I wanted it to have more rows, obviously, than the black yarn. So black yarn, 15 rows. I would do 20 to 25 rows of the taupe. And now we are cranking out the yellow part. Obviously, that's going to be the majority of the scarf. I'm going to say about 100, 150 rows. It depends on how long you want it to be, because keep in mind, we still need to do 10 rows of the gray / silver, if you choose to use silver, and we still need to do the eraser. So that's still going to be more rows as well. Super cute. I do want to put pom-poms on each end, because who doesn't like a good pom-pom? I want to put pom-poms at the end of each end. That will close off the scarf, so it will be closed off, tapered. It won't be flat. I could do one pom-pom on the black part because it needs to be tapered like a point, and I could leave the eraser part flat. We'll see. Let's have some fun with it and see. I really did want to add both pom-poms on both ends, which would require me to taper the eraser part. But now that I'm thinking about it, it would probably be best to leave it flat. But I just like that tapered look. That's just me. And I want to add pom-poms. Why not? Let's go for it, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's add pom-poms. Let's make it tapered. If you think I should make it tapered, go ahead and put a T down in the comment section. If you think I should leave the eraser part flat, go ahead and put the letter F down in the comment section. Let's see what the census, the overall census is saying. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. You know what? I'm going to roll this up a little more, even though it's probably not time to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Doesn't hurt to do it early. Especially once you have all these stitches, you want to be careful as possible. You don't want to take any chances. You get this far and then they drop stitches and then you got to fix it. Yes, it can be saved. Yes, it can be fixed. But why go through all of that? Why put yourself through that torture, honey? I want to show you what this game looks like. The row counter is at 92 rows right now. 92 rows. It still says 92. And I just saw the pen go around. So this thing right here is just a straight up gamble. Now it says 93. Honey, it's counting every other row right now. It's being real disrespectful. So if you're saying to yourself, I don't have one of these machines, I don't like that the row counter isn't working, listen, it's the name of the game. You can purchase a row counter. You can put it on here, and there's a magnet. So every time it comes around, it will pass that magnet and count for you. That's what it's supposed to be doing inside here. I mean, listen, it's a robot. It's a machine. They're not perfect just like we are. They're imperfect. You just got to learn how to work with it. Once you get to know your machine, sometimes you won't even use your row counter. And that's me. I know by eye. I can tell. Someone orders an extra large hat, I know how long it needs to be. So, yeah. So let me show you how much yarn we got left. Oh, you see it? Crazy, right? We're using this whole thing, baby. So that's probably going to be a few more rows. And you know when it gets to the end, that's where the knots are usually. Sometimes in the middle, you know, it's very faulty. So this is Mainstay Yarn. Mainstay Yarn loves this machine. Okay, just in case you're wondering what kind of yarn. I find that 4-ply is really good with this. If you use 3-ply, it's okay. It's okay, but I think 4-ply is best. When you're using this machine. There are people who use a little bulk weight, size 5 yarn. It works for them because you got to remember you can use the largest setting on here as well. The tension gauge. You use the largest tension gauge, which is the very last one right here. And like I said, I'm working with that middle one right there. We're almost done. I can't believe it. It's almost done. I'm going to let you see this yarn right here again in a second. Let's crank the rest of these rows out. I hope that my lighting is okay. Once my office is done, I know my lighting is going to be so much better. But this is what's working right now. Yes, if you're wondering, I am in my kitchen. I'm on the island. It was the best spot to set up. I can stand and be comfortable. My feet won't hurt. It's just great for me to go live. The camera is perfect for me. It has the perfect height. It doesn't seem like super duper close, which I like. And yeah, you got to do what works for you. You got to be comfortable. A lot of people always ask me, how do I take care of my hands when I crochet? First of all, if you're crocheting and you're feeling any pain, stop. Stop. Don't try to thug it out. Don't try to crochet through it. Find out what is causing the discomfort. I just knocked off a stitch. Let's put you back up there. Trying to escape. Let's make sure none of the other stitches dropped. Everything else looks good. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't right. Go back off. Gotta fix it. I think this is supposed to go through this one. So, like I said before, I like using my nails if possible. Sometimes it's a little stubborn. All right, we got it back on there. Woohoo! So like I said before, you can do it. It is possible to get it back up there. It's just a little work. All right, we're all set. Like I said, look at that. See? Knots. This is the last of the skein. So let me wrangle this and wrestle with this. And then we can crank it out. Let's hope there are no more tangles because there's not much yarn left. And if it gets too tangled, I'll just cut it off. Check those stitches, make sure they're good. Uh-oh, is this? This keeps trying to drop stitch over here. No, you're not. It's trying to escape. All right, guys, give me a second. Unfortunately, you can't see what I'm doing so that you can save your stitches, but it's not hard. It's just tedious and annoying at the same time. But thank God for stiletto nails. They save me every time. So I'm literally manually looping it through what the machine normally does. And now I think I got one more loop to do. I can't get this one off. Hold on. Sorry about the delay. There's no way we come this far to have a mess. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. 1 second. There's my needle. Now I know I showed you guys my sewing needle, and now I can't find it. Give me 1 second. I don't know where it went, but we'll use this crochet hook to work it out. Ooh, this tried to give me high blood pressure, honey. All right, we got it. It's saved. Yay. Now let's get it back on the machine. All right, back on the machine. Let's make sure we fix those gaps because of all that tugging. It will make it look gappy. All right, I got it back on there. Hallelujah. Let's crank her out. And I got to watch that one because that's the second time that one dropped. Let's make sure it do what it's supposed to do. Uh-oh, now we got a knot. It's always at the end, guys. It's a conspiracy. Look at that. Ah! This is the yarn, and it just like straight up popped. It was already like that. It wasn't together. So you know what? We're not gonna deal with this. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're just going to go ahead and start. Oh no, this thing is still trying to drop stitches. What are we doing here? Hold on. Get back up here, you pests. I can't believe this is like literally popping off like this. It's the same one. So just be patient. Let me work it out. That's the beauty of doing things live. The not so beautiful thing about doing things live. You know, you just never know what mishaps might happen, but I'm going to work it out. Oops. Now let's sit this all the way down. Come on, work with me. Now we are going to change colors again. This time we're going to do about 10 rows of this gray / silver if you choose to do so. So I'm going to drop that yarn down. I'm actually going to make sure that it goes under these here because we're not starting at the beginning. And I'm going to hold these because this tail is super short. I'm going to hold this until we make it around one round. Let's go. I'm going to probably have to repair the scarf where that stitch dropped at to sew a little bit of a hole closed. No big deal. Now that we've made it one round, let me make sure it's not continuing to try to drop stitches. It's not, but there's a little gapping right here. I'm going to have to sew that closed. No big deal. All right, let's go ahead and tie it in place. You know, I like to go around one row. That way it will look seamlessly, kind of, sort of. And I'm going to cut it right away because it will annoy me. All right, let's continue cranking out these rounds. We're going to do about 10 rounds of the gray. Let's see if it's going to be counting. It is. That's 1. That's actually 2. That's 3, 4, 5. What's up? What's up? If you're just joining me, my name is Lala. I'm the owner and doll designer of the Christian Crochet Addict. And we are making a pencil themed scarf. We are at 6 rounds. 7. 8. Let's pull it down. This is how we keep those stitches on. 9. And 10. This is our final round, and we're going to change to our pink. Final round in gray. Let me come back a little bit, and we're going to cut it, drop it. Let's get that pink. This is Big Twist. And we're just going to crank it on out. I'm going to pull on those a little bit just so that it won't be too loose. And crank it on out. Let's clear this because I'm thinking 20 rows should be sufficient. We've already done 1 row, so let's tie it together. We're doing the same thing that we've been doing with the other color changes. I'm going to secure it with a knot. nice and tight. And then we're gonna cut it. Let's crank out the rest of those rows, shall we? So that technically was 1 round, but we're gonna do 20 rounds of this pink. Let me pull some of this yarn out because, you know, it's notorious for having knots. I just want to make sure I have a little slack as I'm working. And let's crank it out. Where are you guys watching from? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Hello, hello. I'm on the East Coast. Uh-oh. What'd I tell you? Knots. See that? Disrespectful. That's the only thing that sucks about with skeins. They will have knots and snags and frayed yarn sometimes. There you go. And that's why it's a good reason to hold on to the tail and let it glide through your other hand. My other hand is holding the yarn lightly and letting it glide through my fingers. So I could feel the knot sometimes before it makes its way to the machine. And you want to do that because you don't want to mess up your machine. So let's roll this for the last time. We shouldn't have to roll this anymore. Press down, make sure that it's holding down all those stitches. Look at all your stitches, make sure that they're all on the machine. And let's continue to crank it out. It says that we are at 6 rounds right now. Yay, 14 rounds to go, and then we sew it up. So we're gonna say this is definitely a 1 hour gift. This shouldn't take you an hour. It should take you about an hour, I should say. Because remember in the beginning, I stopped for 8 minutes. We pretty much had to stop for 8 minutes. And then, you know, we had that unruly one that wanted to hop off the machine. We're at 10 rounds right now. And I'm going at a moderate pace. And if you have the drill attachment, I have the drill attachment and the electric attachment, you would have had this done already. It would be done already. It's like 1, 2, and 3. So keep on cranking it out. We at 13 rounds. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. And I'm going to have to find my long sewing needle. I showed it to you in the beginning of the live, but I don't see it. It must have fell off the island. I'm going to have to check and see if it fell on the floor, and then we will proceed. We are at 16 rounds. 17, 18, 19, and 20. This is the 20th round. When we get to that white hook again, that is the end. There it is. It just popped up. There we are. So I am going to have a moderate tail. It doesn't have to be super long, but it has to be able to work its way around these stitches. So now that we have that, we're going to continue to crank this around for 1 round. Just 1. No more than that. You don't want to drop your stitches by accident. All right. So now that this white one is popping up, that's where we're at. We're at the beginning. Now let me find my darning needle. And like I said, it fell on the floor. Here we are. Let's go ahead and thread it. We're not using any waste yarn because I'm not about that life. I'm daring and I'm crazy. If this is your first time using the machine, please use your waste yarn. It will save you, especially if, you know, it's your first time, because your first time you are definitely going to drop stitches. It's just inevitable. It's just what happens. It's the name of the game. It's the name of the game. You know, as you get to know your machine, as you could see, I drop stitches. You saw me, and I've used this tons of time. I have 3 machines. 2 of them are not functional. I have to combine them to make 1 functional. When we were moving, our movers broke my 2 machines. So that kind of slowed down productivity, especially when I'm like, gotta crank out these hats, you know? I get a lot of hat sales and scarf sales, and it kind of sucks because I like to use my electric yarn winder while I'm using the drill attachment, and maybe my daughter will crank one machine and we get these hats done, especially when you have big orders. Like, there was one lady, she's an AKA, and she wanted a lot of pink and green hats for her sorority sisters. It's just, we're not a factory. One day when we grow up, maybe there will be one, but as of right now, there is no uh, factory over here at the Christian Crochet Addict. So we do our best. If I miss your comment, please forgive me. Don't forget to like this video. If you're hanging out, I would love for you to like it. I would love for you to share it. I would love for you to follow and subscribe if you haven't already. We are making this pencil scarf. If you're just joining, what's up? What's up? I'm saying hey, hey, and good morning to you from Pennsylvania. I recently moved here from New York City and I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the best decisions my husband and I have ever made. Too bad we didn't do it sooner, but we weren't supposed to be here sooner. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're doing this, getting it together. Now, I told you about the gapping where it drops stitches. Don't worry, I will show you how I'm going to fix that, but we got to get this baby off the machine. Once we get this baby off the machine, then we can fix that, because it's not going to drop stitches on the opposite side. We already have a nice a generous amount of tail there, so we can turn it inside out and it will be fine. We just don't want to play games with this side, because this is the side of death. This is the side where you'll be like, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Where it happens. So now we're going to crank it out some more. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm not in the camera shot. Forgive me. We're there. We are back at the white pen. So we know we have reached the end of the row. Hold on, I went in between the stitch. Come on. Gotta go back out and make sure we grab all of it. There we go. And we're back here. And we can take it off the machine. Let's move this machine out of the way so that we can show the people today. Everything is a song in this house, by the way, if you haven't realized that. So I am closing this up. As you can see, we're gonna make sure all of the stitches fold in the inside. And then we're going to go around one more time, because why not? It's just to make sure extra secure. There's nothing wrong with that. Extra security. Will it come apart? No, I haven't had any issues, but why take the chance, right? So those same stitches that I went in already, I'm just working my way around and doing them all over again. That's all. Extra security. Security. And now I'm gonna put a knot. And why not do it again? I'm just gonna cross over on the other side. There's nothing wrong with doing it twice. I like even numbers anyway, if all possible. And then we're gonna do one more for good measure. And I told you I like even numbers, but I just felt like it needed one more. And since I did 3, I gotta do 4 because it's not even. This doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes, I just say, no, we gotta do one more. And then what are we gonna do with that tail? We're gonna hide it. We're gonna hide it and then cut off the excess. So now that we are done with our knots, we've had our knot party, we're gonna go through the middle and just come out somewhere. Doesn't matter. It's all the way in there. Let's cut that tail. And now let's unveil it. So this is the area I told you we're gonna have to work on from the inside. No problem whatsoever. Let's unroll it, but don't be too crazy because we don't want to drop any stitches in the center. You should be fine, but let's not take any chances. And this is rolled up pretty tight. Let me move this stuff out the way. Unroll it. Here we are. We're getting to the end. And it is a nice length. So I'm going to say this is about 140 rows of yellow. All right. About 140 rows of yellow. We have the pink. I told you do 20 rows of pink, 10 rows of the gray or silver. And then we also have 10 rows of the black. And it should be 20 rows of the tan. But first, before we close this up, I do want to find where that silly hole is. Where are you? I can't find it. Oh, it's right here. It's not that bad. It's actually okay. I think if we pull on it a little bit, let's close this up. I think it'll be okay. I thought it was going to be major. So the beauty about this end is you just pull it closed. You don't have to do all that stitching unless you're going to go around a second round like I am. But yeah, for the most part, you just pull this side closed. Now that it's almost all closed up, I'm going to thread my needle. Where did it go? Where did you go? I'm just dropping everything today, guys. I got it. So we're going to thread this needle. It doesn't have to be this long anymore. Let's get rid of it. Don't need to work with such a ginormous yarn tail. Let's thread it. And let's go around one more time. Just for extra security. Make sure you pick up all those stitches and go around. Look how fast we got this done, guys. It says an hour and 55 seconds, but you know and I know we technically started 8 minutes after, and we had a few snags, but we can definitely put this down as a 1 hour gift. It takes only 1 hour to make. I think that's awesome. I think we are approaching the beginning. So now we can close it up. Pull it out, pull it, pull it, pull it. And now let's close it up the same way we did the other side. I'm just going to put about 4 knots in it. I did one on that side, and then I'm going to crisscross over on this side. And then we're going to do one on this side. I pretty much do something on all 4 sides, a knot that makes sense. And then we're going to finish off with our final knot right here. I hope that you're enjoying the music. I'm just recently discovering lo-fi. Don't judge me. I don't really watch TV much, or I'm starting to, though. I recently started to, you know, watching different series and stuff like that. But I'm a creator. That's what I do. Sometimes I put music on, but I don't know what it's called. And I just discovered lo-fi, and I like it. I love jazz, too. Sometimes I don't want to hear words. Sometimes I just want to hear the instruments. Classical is great, too, but it puts me to sleep. So I'm snugging on it just to make the stitches a little more uniform, because some of the stitches look a little loose. So sometimes that can be the remedy. I'm just doing it on all 4 sides. Yes, it has snapback. It's going to snap back to whatever it was anyway, but it will give it an opportunity to kind of tighten up a little bit. All right, there are some areas that I'm not too happy with, like here. That's because the stitches was very loose, but we did it. It's still cute. I think the teacher is going to love it. It is gorgeous. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me again. You know not to do this many rows. My row counter stopped working, but this should be about the same width as the black one, not a little bit longer. So this is probably about, I would say, 10 rows too much. So it should have kind of matched with the other side, if you will. Because if this has 10 rows, this has 20. And then we did 10 rows here. It should have probably cut off right here, but that's okay. So if you enjoyed this live, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. We did 10 rows. I'm going to tell you what you should do, not what I did. 10, excuse me. Did we do 10? No, excuse me. 15 rows, black. 20 rows here. 140 rows, yellow. Then we're going to do 15 rows silver, just like how we did 15 rows here, and 20 rows pink. Again, my name is Lala. I'm the owner and doll designer of the Christian Crochet Addict, and you just hung out with me and we made a gorgeous pencil scarf. It's the perfect gift for any educator, bus driver. I think they would love it, and I hope that you make yours. Go ahead and put in the comment section if you make this and share it on anywhere on social media. Just give me credit. God bless you guys and have a wonderful day.